I don't know. Yes, that's it, but that's gross.
That's very gross.
Take a picture of that.
Oh, it smells so bad. You want me to take a photo of it?
Yeah. Sorry.
This may assist you in your decision to buy a trailer from a dealership or not.
Wake up, step into the world outside. The future never looks.
We have just emptied the fridge because there is a horrible smell, and I wish we had smell-o-vision because it's bad. We kept walking by here yesterday and couldn't figure out what it was, so we drained our tanks, because sometimes if your gray tank is somewhat full and you've been in dry environments, the water in the P-traps will evaporate and you kind of smell the gray tank inside the rig. But this, we cleaned the tanks, no issues, and it still smells. So I grabbed Blair's favorite blue stool here, gave it a little sniff test up, so something is permeating from the back of the fridge, coming across the top of the fridge and out. And there's no way to get back there about what's about to happen. So I've never removed a fridge in an Airstream before. I've removed a fridge in other kinds, but this is going to be a first experiment. So there's 2 screws here, 2 screws here, and 2 over here. So 6 total. We're going to remove those and pull this bad boy out.
Stay. I think there's a towel on the floor. So.
See what you can find, Blair.
I mean, there's some drainage thing down here that looks grimy. And it does smell, but...
Bottom.
Okay.
And then set it down on the ground.
For sure it does smell like the back of this, though. That looks gross.
Yeah, that's where those gnats are coming from. So that's your drain. That's gross. That's definitely what the smell is coming from. Alrighty.
Is that it?
I don't know. Yes, that's it, but that's gross.
That's very gross.
Take a picture of that.
Oh, it smells so bad. You want me to take a photo of it?
Yeah. Sorry. That is rancid, Blair. It's just, that's the worst thing I've ever smelled in my life.
Yeah, it's bad.
I read this book, and I can't think of which book it was now, but they talked about the Whole Foods, like where you go shopping for fish and they got all the ice laid up there. They stack the ice up, and put all the things on top of it. Well, once a week or once every 2 or 3 weeks, they go in and take all the fish out and get the ice out, and they have to get that crud out of the bottom. And what they describe that smell like, that's what we believe. That's what I believe this smelled like. It was horrendous. Horrendous. And I'm going to go look in the fridge in a minute when we're done, but I believe what happened was a package of salmon, like a smoked salmon. The juice kind of went back in the back of the fridge and went down in the drain hole and drained into this thing and never evaporated. So water drains in here normally and would evaporate out, but fish juice does not, and it's rank.
Can you imagine if that happened before we left for trail? And it sat there for 5 months?
No. I don't even want to imagine. Down here behind the fridge, this is where your water drains from the condensation in the fridge, and it goes into here. What's supposed to happen is the water would evaporate into the rig and you vents out the top here above the fridge. Every time. It won't be that bad because I got my mic on, hopefully. But Piper's chewing on the bone. That's what she does every single time we get the camera out. But anyway, water should go in here and evaporate, and you can see the yellow stain in there probably. We believe salmon juice got in this thing, and we're going to investigate further once we get the fridge back in. But I'm putting this in. So you have a tube right here. This tube goes into that hole, and that's what drains down. Now, one thing I would like to do before we get moving too far is to pour some bleach down that drain hole and clean this tube out also. So I'm going to put this back. I had to bend these copper rods to get it out. So now I got to bend them back, which is not my favorite activity because I don't want those to leak. They're pretty robust, but just never know. So let's put that screw back in. Just slide it back towards the back here. Now let's look inside here. See what we can find out real quick. So Blair, will you hand me the bleach spray? So in the fridge, so condensation gets on this back wall and goes down the wall and down in that hole right there. So that's what we believe, like a salmon package dripped into that tray. And now I'm gonna just squirt the tray. All right, we're gonna lean it towards the front. Ready to pick it up?
Yep.
Up. Are you sure you're ready?
Yeah, I was ready. I just went too far.
What'd you think about that, Blair?
It was quicker to solve than I anticipated.
Quicker to solve than you anticipated?
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah. I was gonna say crisis averted, but I was like crisis managed.
Crisis managed.
So, removing the fridge is not that big a deal, so if you ever have to do it or need to replace a fridge for whatever reason, it will fit through the door, which is a good thing because most fifth wheels, it will not fit through the doors. You have to take the stupid things apart. But these are pretty easy to manage. It's lightweight. And now, if you ever need to remove your fridge for something stinky back there, you know how. What are you making?
Peanut butter and nope. Sun butter and banana sandwich. Ta-da!
That looks good.
Does look good.
I just had a conversation with a fellow Airstream owner, and it's something that I want to make all of you aware of. And it's not to disparage Airstream or the dealerships. It's just it's a thing that some do, and I don't know that everybody's aware of it. So this guy calls me. We chatted about his rig, and then he says, "Brad, I have an issue. I'd like to see if you've ever had encountered before." And he said, "I went to take my rig in for warranty work. Now he is a classic, and it's, I don't know, 6 months old maybe. And, you know, a handful of things he wanted to take in for warranty work at the dealership where he bought it on the East Coast. And the service writer at the end of the conversation said, if we can't duplicate or replicate any of the issues that you had, you could be charged an hourly fee for our technicians to troubleshoot it." Well, he was taken aback by this conversation. And he was about to travel anyway, so he could make his appointment somewhere else at close to the dealership where he was traveling to. Middle of the country, he calls that dealership. They had an opening about the time he was going to be there. So he goes through the whole questionnaire, whole process, and he says, "Listen, dealership A told me that if they couldn't replicate or duplicate the issue, that I would be charged an hourly fee for the technicians." And that dealership told him the same thing. Yes, we do the same thing here. So he calls the mothership and speaks to somebody in the warranty claims department there and has a conversation. He said, "Well, I'll just take it back to the factory if these two dealerships are going to charge me for something that I may have screwed up on." And the first guy he talked to said, "Yes, we do the same thing here at the factory." And he somehow got his way through the phone calls back up to the supervisor of that department. And that guy's like, "No way, we don't do that here." So I don't know the answer. We have never experienced that before. We've only dealt with maybe 3 Airstream dealerships for any kind of warranty work ourselves. Otherwise, I just do the work personally. And I've even had a part sent to me from the manufacturer or things like that and fixed it myself without worrying about warranty work. But that's me. This may assist you in your decision to buy a trailer from a dealership or not, because that's what they do. And just so you know, all dealerships are independently owned, separate from Airstream. They get the license to sell them, and then that's what they do. They buy the rigs from Airstream corporate and they sell them to independent people. So every dealership can make up its own rules and do kind of its own thing. That's the business. And what I believe has happened, and I can't fault dealerships for this, is because if someone comes in with a problem and I have to send my technician out to go check the problem, and then that's an hour of them looking or digging through a thing to try to figure it out, and then that's an hour they could have been working on something real, when the user error was really the problem. Many dealerships are in the hurt locker when it comes to a qualified service technicians who do quality work. That is a very, very hard thing for people to find right now. I talked to a dealership about a year ago, and he had 2 young ladies who had just graduated RV school, and that's the only technicians he had at the entire dealership. And I couldn't believe it. Like, they graduated high school, went to RV tech school, and showed up at this place to work. But that's all they had. He said, I can't find anyone else qualified in the area that he happened to be in. So, and I think that's kind of commonplace in many places. So, how's the walkthrough going to go? If we give you an hour or we give you as long as you need, that's kind of the answer you should be looking for right there. And don't drive away unless you're comfortable with the trailer. And read your owner's manual. If you have not bought an Airstream yet, do what Blair and I did. We downloaded the PDF version of our manual and we read through it a month before we picked our rig up. Just so I knew that when I got there, any questions that I had from the owner's manual of something I didn't understand or didn't know where it was, I was able to ask during the walkthrough. So read the owner's manual. I think it's a wonderful learning opportunity for you to check out your rig. I believe many issues that people ask about, I think it's a warranty claim, is not really a warranty claim. It's just something that the user didn't know how to use. And I'm purely basing this on questions I've been asked and questions I see on Facebook. So like Airstream Addicts or Airstream for Newbies, the myriad of questions get asked on there about how to use a thing or how to turn on a thing or turn off a thing or whatever. There's hundreds and hundreds of questions on there that could be answered quite easily with your owner's manual. So if you've never read through your owner's manual, I encourage you to do so. It may be boring and dry, but learn about your rig. And if you've not purchased an Airstream yet, or any RV for that matter, you can download typically the PDF version of the manual and read through it before you even go get to your rig. And what I did is I put it on my iPad and I'd go through and highlight parts of the manual that I didn't understand or didn't make sense to me, or something I wanted more clarification on or more education on. So that may be something you want to do beforehand. One more thing. If you're going to buy your trailer today, for example, go ahead to the service department while you're there and make yourself an appointment for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 1 year. If you need to call and cancel them before the appointment arrives, that's fine. Do it. But make yourself an appointment. And every time you go use your trailer, keep your little list on your phone or in the trailer somewhere. Say, rivet popped out here or whatever the things are throughout the time, so that when you are ready to take it in for your appointment, you have your list already and you can call the service writer and say, I got an appointment to come in next Tuesday. Here are the things I'm looking to take care of or ask questions about. So go ahead and make your appointments. If you need to cancel them, that's fine. Know the dealership that you're dealing with, or know the dealership that you're going to live near before you embark on this purchase. So he calls big Airstream. They're sneezing.
I can't do it now. My eyes are watering so bad. Carry on. It'll come.